To maximize the space available by producing more food per square meter than your standard farm is capable of. And this is why the physical layout of this farm is so important. Currently, most practicing vertical farm will either grow on normal. This is why the physical layout of the farm is so important currently. Most practicing vertical farms will either grow on normal horizontal that are stacked vertically or will grow plants on the vertical planes stretching upwards. This allows vertical farmers to make greater use of the space. The amount of crops than a typical farmer would with just a single amount of heat emitted from the lights creates the perfect environment to stimulate plant growth. And as a result, modern LEDs are making it possible for vertical farmers to become profitable and greatly increase the vertically of their crops. Hydroponic, which is actually the most common growing medium in all the vertical farming, works by submerging the plant's root into the nutrition-rich water solution that can be circulated and monitored for the correct composition throughout the growth of the plants. This method requires no soil whatsoever and allows an incredible amount of water conservation, other than what is actually being used by the plants. This method is easy to scale and additional rows of crops can be added along with a supporting infrastructure to disperse the nutrition-rich water to overall vertical farming system. The next method, aeroponics, uses a very unique method of farming that involves no soil, sunlight, or even direct water. This method was firstly pioneered by NASA in order to grow crops in space, and it involves frequently spraying crops with a nutrition-based mist, although it's somewhat still rare to find in vertical farming world. This method can reduce water usage by much as 90%, and it has been proven that plants using this method may intake more minerals and vitamins, making them even healthier to consume. And finally, the last growing method is known as ecofonic farming. Takes the basic hydroponic system one step further and combines both plants and fish together in the same ecosystem. In this system, fish will be grown in indoor ponds that produce nature-rich waste. This waste can be fed to the plants, which in turn filter and purify this wastewater before it is finally recycled back to where it all started. This cycle happens over and over again, creating a highly productive and balanced ecosystem. However, it is not often used due to the additional complexity. Using systems like this, a standard open field farm that is growing. Let's say lettuce, for example, will only yield 3.9 for every square meters of the land used. It will always consume 1000 liters of water throughout the growing seasons. And to make matters worse, the crops often growing on these traditional farms generally have to travel somewhere between 1500 and 20,000 miles before it arrives at grocery